we're going to be painting today, priming actually, and this is masking film. We're getting everything masked off to make sure that any light switches or plugs or windows that are installed at this point are protected, and everything else is tucked away to where it's not going to get anything that shouldn't be painted. And having the windows not trimmed yet is proving to make this super simple on the windows. A lot of the times you will want to, if you're painting your trim, you're going to want to have that be part of the same process, and so this would already be trimmed at this point. But we're going to be doing wood trim later on, whenever it is we can get around to it, and so that means that I have access to the rough on these windows. And so what I discovered was I can take this masking film and tuck it just like that, and the corners having overlap from this side and this side with this extra long and extra wide film, it makes it to where it stays. Casey's looking for any last things that need sanded that we missed. Anything that protrudes outwards, ideally, and then if there's something that's like a scrape that we missed, that's not a big deal. We can always fill that and then just put a little primer back over it. And we were saying earlier that with that kind of an issue, you'll actually be able to see it better with the primer. That's how we taped off the bathtub and shower, kids' room. Works pretty well. Who is that girl? Sanding queen.
Very funny.
Hello.
Hi. The paint will cover some stuff.
Yeah, it's looking really nice
I think it is.
in here.
Yep.
Almost ready.
You wanted to float this thing. It might keep you busy till I'm done sanding in the other room.
Yeah, I could do that. I've used the pole sander for everything that I can. And Casey's finishing out corners. She's got this room that I'm in and what's left of that bathroom to go. And just like we did up in the attic, I'm going to run the blower and this fan in a window. The breeze is kind of coming through this way anyway from the other side of the second floor. So I'm going to try and flush the dust through here, because some of these dust piles and the amount of very fine dust, even with a fine dust filter, would be clogging our vacuum like all the time. I mean, the one time when we were dealing with drywall dust before and I just vacuumed, it was maybe 20 trips, and I don't want to do that. It's a lot of work. Stuff like that. Casey's vacuuming. I blew out all the rooms with my leaf blower, and convince most of the dust to go outside. Not really what you're supposed to do, but it's a lot faster and we need the speed. We don't have a second shop vac that can do that, so we use that particular tool and it worked pretty well. We all...
Okay, let me just finish this little square.
Yeah. Fire season and we got some tree trimming just around the right time coming through. Make sure we don't get anything started. Like this maple here is leaning pretty heavy and there's some other branches of concern, and with these 100-degree temps, they're gonna kind of take care of some of that potential for us. He's going up. So he's watching where he's going. He's got to avoid the power line, our power line to the shop.
I've never gone that high before.
So right now we're in the middle of a 5-day stretch of 100+ degree temperatures. And as I said, it's a great time for these guys to be getting this done for us. So a couple of concerns that they're addressing today. They don't want any branches that, you know, they get hit with a rain, or they're so laden with, you know, seeds like that maple that he was cutting on, that they start to droop down and they can contact that wire, and that can actually start a fire. And we have a little island forest here. This hillside is forested but surrounded by farmland, so we wouldn't get hit by something like the fires the last couple of years ago coming down the foothills. Everybody was worried about that. That wouldn't have affected us. We're too far away from the next forests and we're too close to water sources, but this is an ignition point, and so it's really nice that they're getting that cut and trimmed back for us. What'd you say, buddy? And what do you think about that?
It's cool.
Gets the machine leveled. Isn't that neat? It's really cool, isn't it? No, they're getting ready. And why do they have to do that? because that back end all comes up, and so that tall part that they've been using to hold the bucket, that has to get out of the way. Booged. Not a huge difference, but there's a fair difference. Each of these is like a channel, and they've got to maintain it a fair ways out. This maple tree got quite a bit trimmed back, but it'll come back pretty easily. I mean, it's definite job security there. And this is the only part that we're a little sad about, but needed to happen. We have this madrone. You can see that it's got quite a lean there, and they were concerned about the leverage effect of that branch, that main trunk that curved, so they topped it, but they left some on this other side. So right next to the Paulownia here, we've got this maple that they did quite a bit of work to remove some of the droop. I don't know that it would have been able to hit the power lines over here, but they gave it, you know, a lot of help by cutting it down to size. So that was appreciated, whether it was needed or not. And then there was some work they did up in here. This maple was a ways out and had some long branches that might have been able to contact. So they lipped that back up into here. And then you can see this fir, they took up quite a bit higher as well, which I think is totally fine. Also spent quite a bit of time in here along the side of the property where we have this little jump up from where, you know, we've had, this was originally like a planned to be a road, and now it's obviously part of our driveway, but you know, so it comes up here onto the side, and they spent quite a bit of time up in here. I did tell them lots of poison oak in there. Half of that is honeysuckle and half is poison oak, and it's all over, but you know, they it was kind of their job. And they did a lot of work cutting out some little bits and pieces of willow and other wild bushes in here that they were concerned were too fast growing, and they didn't want to have to deal with getting up into the wire. And this little poor madrone here is reaching for the light, and he's on a collision course with the wire as well. So he's going to be just like his friend over there. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stick around, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.